Welcome to another edition of The Talkin Dead.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of EPL on
Class is in session, hitting the books on PUBSPORTS.
This is another exciting edition of the main event on Talkin Hands. Bang, bang! What's going on, guys? Tuned to another edition of the main event on Talkin Hands. As I'm your host, Preston, joined by my host, Mr. Danny Betts. We're here to break down this week's main event. Kind of crazy because this is sort of a late notice replacement, but the return of Rolando Romero is going to take on Ismael Barroso. And before we get into that, we are going to recap what happened to Canelo down under in Mexico. Danny, we can start off with you. Quick thoughts. The Canelo performance, his fight against Sean Ryder, gets a decision win, gets a knockdown in round 5, does not get the finish. Is he on the downcline or is he washed, as the kids like to say?
He's washed, damn it. No, I'm joking. I want to say washed. For me, that's a harsh word to use. It was a good, solid performance, kind of. But for him, for him being Canelo and all the years he dominated pretty much and his performances, it was a letdown, man. Especially when you got the under like me. He actually had, and I had round 8 too. He actually had a knockdown in round 5, round 8, and I'm like, oh, come on. But none of those were really like, Ryder wasn't like super hurt. It was more like off balance. He caught him with one shot and took him off his balance. My major thing that makes me, and I tweeted this out before the fight. I'm like, okay, I hear a lot of people saying he's washed. He's old, all this other stuff. I get it, but I said if he doesn't get Ryder out of there in 9 rounds, then I'll say he's definitely like, there's some declining there for sure. And from what I saw, the little details, I think there is. Because don't forget about the age. He's only, 31, 32? But he's an old 31, 32. He's been fighting since he's like 15, 14. Got a ton of fights, ton of wars. Now the injuries are coming up. He just had surgery with his right hand or left hand. I'm not sure what it was. But the major thing, and I noticed this in the Bivol fight, it was his hand movement. Like, it was not.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say the same exact thing. Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I give you the excuse with the hand. I give him another shot. I'm like, yeah, obviously, if you're fighting with a messed up hand, that does a lot. It's hard, and you're still winning fights. It's boring fights, but you're winning. But that has nothing to do with your footwork or your head movement like back in the day. Like, and he's gassing even more in the second half of fights. You could just tell he's throwing like one punch here, another punch here, a 1-2. No, like a lot of combinations, no step to the left, and little things like that he used to do. I'm noticing that he's not. He's more like he's like content with like, okay, I could win like this. I don't have to go all out, and I could just throw one shot here, one big shot here, a 1-2 once in a while, uppercut. And that's why I think he's declining. And I seen your comment on Twitter about the whole rematch. And hey, respect to him. He wants revenge. He don't care. He said 175, just like it was. 175, all the rules, the same shit. Which I respect him. That's why I love him, because he don't care. He'll fight whatever.
Oh yeah, he fights the best. Yeah, I agree.
Right. That's why I hate these. I'm not even gonna say fan, but they're haters. They say he don't fight anybody, which is bullshit. Like, he's always fighting somebody. It's the other way around. Like, now supposedly, I don't know if you saw Charlo, he was calling him out. I'm like, okay. Now you want to put your mix. You guys, both of you guys, been so inactive, and now you want to try to mix your name in there with Canelo. But long story short, I think he is declining a little bit. I don't want to see the Bivol fight again, but I mean, if he fights Devin Morrell or Benavidez, I think he loses, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, that was my old thing you brought up earlier. The head movement. I thought he was getting hit a lot. Maybe Ryder just didn't have the power to hurt him, so he wasn't scared, so he was getting hit. And yeah, he did knock down Ryder, but it was very like he just kept getting hit, and him like, you're not, he used to do this and like pop, like he was quicker, He's just a better boxer. Asinine take for him and his team to want to fight Dimitri Bivol in a rematch. He has no chance. He's got to improve tenfold. I do think, though, in Mexico, because the commentators did bring it up with the announce crew, that they thought Ryder was going to gas out due to, I think it was elevation.
Elevation in Mexico, I get that,
but yeah, he definitely had his lead. I thought we were going to get round 8, 7 or 8. I thought we were going to get it. And then it was kind of like, okay, it's kind of done. He's getting like you can tell he's going to get the decision win, and he just kind of coasted his way to victory. He doesn't look like the same Canelo, at all, which sucks because when you say it, he's 32. He's not, 40, but he's had how many fights here? 59, 63 fights.
Right.
So 63 fights. The last decade, he's been fighting the Mayweathers, the Triple Gs, Cotto, all the top guys. So it makes sense for him to decline. But, yeah, that was a get-right performance. And, yeah, I don't think he got right at all. So we'll see what happens. Canelo, he usually fights on, I think it's Mexican Independence Day in September. So that should be his next bout. I'm sure there'll be an announcement somewhat shortly. It's Bivol. Good luck for him. I'll see the odds. I know we're not going to get plus 4.
They put it out already. Pro Boxing on Twitter. I think he was like it's actually the underdog. Hold on.
Canelo's the underdog?
Yeah. Not huge. It was like plus 150.
Yeah. Okay, I see it. Yeah, minus 200 plus 150. Yeah, that seems accurate. I think Bivol.
Yeah, you got to put Bivol the favor.
Yeah, I think he'll win a decision pretty clearly in the rematch. Big Show in the chat. What's going on, Big Show? Everyone watching, if you could hit that like button, drop a comment down below, comment in the chat. Let us know what you thought of Canelo's performance. Were you surprised, or do you think he was going to get that knockout, kind of like we thought? And yeah, just unfortunate what happened to Canelo that fight. We move on to our main event this week. Like I said earlier, late notice replacement, but the fight is still on. Rolando Romero take on Ismael Barroso. His first bout since getting knocked out by Tank Davis roughly 1 year ago. Danny, thoughts on this one? Current odds have Romero at a minus 1,000. Comeback on Barroso is plus 550. If you guys could go to our favorite sports book, that would be mybookie.ag. Promo code PUBSPORTS. 50% deposit bonus match credit debit. 100% Bitcoin. Use the Bitcoin up to $1,000. Danny, Barroso versus Romero.
Rolly Romero, baby. That's I know Pete doesn't want to say it, but I know that that's another one of his favorite fighters.
Yeah. I called the Tank fight, so I was like, and
that was easy. We call that to a T.
Yeah.
But he's entertaining. I mean, he talks a lot of shit. He's a funny dude, but he's delusional sometimes. Like the things he says. He was supposed to fight Puello, the Dominican fighter. I actually liked him until he got popped for steroids, and now he's in that mess. And now we got Ismael Barroso is his name. 40 years old, Venezuela, 5'8", 69 inches of reach, against Rolly Romero, 5'8", with 68 reach. And we know Rolly came out, with the big fight with Tank Davis, and he got knocked out. That was his only loss. Only one time he's been knocked out. If you're not counting sparring, because if you keep up with the boxing world, you saw him sparring. I don't even know who the guy was. He was sparring somebody. He got knocked out with the pads and everything. Like, Rolly got knocked out sparring. And so his chin's kind of questionable when it comes to power punches like that. But it's more because of the way he's got power, but he falls in love. Like we like to say, he takes pictures in the pocket. He throws those big wide hooks and he just stays there. Easy to get countered if you have a nice timing like that. But he's there to be hit. And this guy, I mean, he's 40 years old. Barroso, he's 24-3. He's been knocked out 2 times. And I mean, he's got pop. He definitely got power. I was watching some of his fights. The thing with him, like obviously he's old. He's only fought 3 times the past 3 years. Like
that's like a worry I have.
Yeah, and one of the fights was he beat him in 1 round, so he hasn't been active. He hasn't had like a decent test. Level of competition hasn't been the greatest. But I will say this: he still has to be. Rolly has to be careful with the early rounds because this dude could punch. He's not gonna outbox you. He's just gonna go in there and try and make a slugfest. And shout out to Andrew G in the chat. He says this guy food for Rolly. Seems like it. Pretty much, man. That's what I'm getting to. Like I think it is for sure. But if Rolly's not careful early, if he's reckless, like he did with the Tank fight, too much in the early rounds, he could get caught. Because I'm still worried about his chin. And one thing about this fight, this is at 140 pounds. Yep. And it's the first fight for Rolly at 140. But he was a big kid anyways. He wasn't a true 135er. And this guy is Barroso is not really a big guy either. So I think Rolly gets it done. And it's crazy because this is for an interim belt. So he gotta say that.
Yeah, it's a joke. Yeah, it's a joke. Yeah.
That Romero's a fucking champion, bro. Yeah. But I think he gets it done, man. And I think actually the best thing that could have happened to him was that knockout by Tank Davis. I think he's not going to go too reckless. And I noticed in Barroso fights, he does fade after like 4 rounds. Like he starts gassing already after 4 rounds. Still swinging wide too. He's even worse when it comes to, especially when he's tired, he's swinging wide. The over-under, I'm going back to the well like last week. Over-under is -7.5. I think it's like -115, -120. I like the under. Barroso's been finished in the round 7, round 9. It's gonna be close, and I know Romero has a lot of finishes early. A lot of them come like round 6, round 7. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna sprinkle round 7, 8, 9, and 9 just in case too separately, just in case it goes just a little bit over, or 8.
Yeah.
And I think he gets it done there, man. I like the under in this one. I think Rolly Romero gets a knockout and becomes a champion. Interim champion, it's not legit, but it's still champion. Shout out to Lou Betcha. He said, look at the amount of sexy in here. Hey, talk about that. Talk about boy P, man. He's got to make like room for his calendar with all the dates he's got. He's got a dating marathon going on right now, like 8 in a row.
I'm trying. I am trying. I am trying to be like Rolly, right? Rolly like talk that game too. So put me in the ring with them. Yeah.
That's how I think the fight's is gonna go. It should be actually. I think it's gonna be underrated. From just a watching perspective. It's
exciting. I think it'll be exciting.
Yeah. It'll be like a war until the old man can't do it anymore and he gets caught by. Because Rolly, I mean, make fun of him all you want. He does have power. Dude's athletic. He's just got to tune up his defense and his footwork and little things like that, the fundamentals of boxing. But he should get it done, and I think he gets it done by knockout.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this is a force-fed opponent for him. And kind of what Danny Think was saying a little bit earlier, I thought the other guy, before he got popped, could have, stopped him. Because I don't think Rolly is that technically sound at all. Like Danny says, he leaves his chin out there and he gets hit a lot. I think he's going to knock Barroso out with a body shot. I think he just comes with those just huge monster hooks. And eventually, you throw enough of those, they will land. Once they land, you can't take too many of those. Tank was even cautious, but Tank always fights cautiously about getting hit with one of those because, he could have got dropped too. Rolly, big left hook. Doesn't really fight behind a jab. He should be like jabbing more. He should be getting in and out. Instead, he just wants to mug people, in the boxing ring. It's just technically not aesthetically pleasing, but he wins. He wins fights. He gets the knockouts, and he does what he needs to do. When he gets, these guys in the breaks, like I'm afraid he's gonna fucking bite someone the way he does his shit.
Dude, hey, I forgot to mention, the sound effects he does. Going to the UFC, we make fun of Shakagian for her tennis noises.
Yeah.
Rolly Romero does the little like, every time he
Yeah.
punches, he's like, it's hilarious, bro.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's a goofball. He's a goofball. He's going to get the win. He's going to get the knockout. Uh, I'll say, yeah, under 7.5 too. My whole deal with the opponent here is the lack of activity and the guys he has been fighting with that lack of activity aren't top tier fighters at all, So it's the step up in competition. Honestly, the odds aren't even that crazy. I know -1,000 is
Yeah.
like heavy juice, but it's a tailor made fight, kind of like Andrew G said earlier. Rolly win knockout. Outside with the under 7.5 as well, and then he would be a champion at 140. So who would he potentially fight next? Would he
Dude,
fight?
I was talking so much. I was listening to his interview in The Last Stand, and I wasn't talking. I mean, I was keeping it real because he said one of the names he brought up was Subriel Matias, and I'm like, dude,
He would get knocked out by him pretty
you would
easily.
get murked.
Yeah.
He's like, he's got a belt. I want it. Like if he's for real, I respect it. But that's one guy that nobody's calling out for a reason, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like Regis Prograis already has a fight, which that one's gonna be a banger.
Yeah, and Josh Taylor's fighting
Yeah, Taylor's fighting already. So
Teofimo, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So those are 4 guys right there already booked. So I mean, Subriel's right there. If you want that smoke, I mean, I know deep inside he don't want it, bro. There's no way.
Yeah, he would get knocked out pretty easily. If it's a technical fight or if they're like going to war, yeah, he's outgunned pretty. And honestly, he'd probably be the favorite in that fight just because people wouldn't know the opponent as well.
I hope to God, bro.
Yeah.
You already know if that happens. That's a max bet for me. I'm not even joking. Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've turned around with what's his face Tank after that performance versus Garcia. Baroli still hasn't shown me anything. And then Minius saying, is Rolly still under Mayweather Promotions? Did he leave Mayweather after the Tank fight? I don't know.
I thought he left. I could be mistaken, but
because I know after the Tank fight, like Tank was seen with what's his face with Mayweather for his last fight versus Garcia, basically. So
they're still. It's because they're not together. You know what I mean? Like promoting wise, but they're still obviously that's like his, his shadow, which I hate it because like, dude, any way that Mayweather could jump on the camera, he takes advantage any chance he gets. Like, let the guy celebrate his own victories, man.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything regarding him and Mayweather currently. But yeah, I mean, if I was Floyd, I wouldn't need to back him either personally. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to take Rolly KO under 7.5 rounds. All sounds good to me. I just think Barroso is outgunned in this fight. As Big Show has scrolling down in the comments below, if you guys could join Prize Picks. Prize Picks helps us out a lot here at Pub Sports Radio. Promo code Pub Sports. Deposit using that promo code, get that bonus match, $100 and $100 for bonus, basically. Sharpie does a show every day for baseball. He kills it. Just tail him. I'm sure you'll win your money back. And then some. Any and all memberships, donations help a ton. Go green like our guy Andrew G in the chat. $4.99 a month helps us out greatly. Can wrap this up here real quick. Danny, we will go to you. Best bet. I think we're going to be on the same side here.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I like violence in this spot. Under 7.5, I think is like -110, -120 around there. And I think Rolly gets it done. I'm gonna sprinkle a couple of round props, 7, 8, 9. And I forgot to tell you on the undercard, Kenneth Sims Jr. versus Akhmedov. He could probably the winner there could probably fight Rolly. Cause what's wild? Barroso, I forgot about this. I just saw it now on his past opponents. Barroso got knocked out by Akhmedov. I mean, I know it was 2018 and Akhmedov had a loss, but it's just wild that he gets the title shot, and then now he's fighting. Akhmedov is in the undercard when he knocked him out. But I like Sims in that one actually. So Sims is a real nice technical boxer with some pop, not crazy power, but I think that would be a nice matchup for Rolly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna side under 7.5. I think Rolly gets a knockout. It could be basically whenever. We've seen him overwhelm a lot of these opponents early, and then eventually the corner is just like, okay, enough of this. Because then he gets his confidence because he knows he has you hurt, and once he has that, that's when he starts to lay it on the opponent. Best bet for me, Rolando Romero under 7.5 rounds. Connor Mack in the chat. What's going on, Connor? That should do it for us, guys. Next week, huge fight, Devin Haney, Lomachenko. Yes. I got to look into it. Haney's been kind of talking a little more than I would like him to talk.
Got the gold teeth. My dude got some swag going on. more than usual.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see what happens next week. That's a huge fight. Join us then, guys, 6:30 here, Pub Sports Radio. Hit the like, comment down below. If you disagree with us, will Romero get knocked out? Hey, if he gets knocked out, good, because I don't like the kid either. Hey, that'll still pay our under 7.5.
It don't matter. I mean, I'll sprinkle. Hey, I might sprinkle both sides because I know the odds for Barroso are crazy. His KO prop is like plus 700, 800. So why not when you got the under?
Yeah, I would not hate that either. That'll do it for us, guys. Join us next week, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. Haney, Lomachenko. See you guys then.
Let's go.